Hi, everybody. So this is my speech to entertain. Um, let's see, maybe a couple of years ago, I was leafing through the Village Voice. I don't know if you guys remember what the Village Voice was or is, what was. It was a newspaper, and they basically had articles, and you could purchase things like sort of like an eBay thing. And also you can, list your services. Like if you have something to sell, you could do that. If you wanted something from someone, you could, respond to an ad, so what and so on. Anyway, so, I'm looking through the paper and I'm like, oh, that would be great. Let me see what this is about. So the ad was, they were having a party or whatever. And at the time, we didn't have COVID. It was just, have fun, go out, do what we want to do, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So in the back of Village Voice, there was an ad, and it was like, come to XYZ address between, let's say, 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. And this is the time that the event was going to go. So I'm like, okay, that sounds, nothing to do, whatever. Let's go check it out. So get there, and I'm like, all right, there's not really many people here, so I'm waiting, Um, and so I, what did I do? I went and sat down, and just waited for people to start to fill the room, whatever, blah blah blah. And I'm realizing, like, well, as I'm sitting there, I'm realizing that there's no like, there's just a stream of guys coming in, and I'm like, okay, this is so weird. What's going on? So what became even more strange was the fact that um, they were all black men, right? So I'm like, oh, what's going on with this? And um, they were wearing like these sort of like costumes, but they weren't. So I'm like, well, this is really odd. What the heck is going on in here? So, I'm still there, I'm waiting, whatever. I'm like, okay, this is not something that I don't think I signed up for. So anyway, so time goes by, maybe about another 10 minutes or so. Then I realize that the people that are there are Black Israelites. Now I don't know if you guys are familiar with them, but they are a group, a sort of like a militant group of Black men, and you see them sometimes, like on the corners. Like I've seen them like on 34th Street, places like that. I've seen them there, right? So I'm like, what the mess is going on? So I'm like sitting there, and by now, the room has filled up with the Black Israelites, right? So I'm sitting there, I'm like, this is not going well. You know, I'm like, okay, so what do you do? Do you get up? Do you get up? Or do you just continue to sit there and not do anything and see what happens? So I'm like, all right, so right now I'm like I'm sort of apprehensive about getting it, because now I'm like, okay, clearly you know that you're in the wrong place. You're not a Black Israelite, and and because of the way that they are, they're really militant. I was like, what do I do? So I'm like, if I could disappear and get on, go underneath the seat, I'd definitely be under the seat, because I was like, I didn't know what to do. Anyway, so I'm still sitting there, and they start the meeting, and I'm like, only you will be caught up in some mess like this at a Black Israelite meeting, thinking that you were going to a party. Okay, so anyway, so I wound up staying for the entire meeting, which was like what, an hour, 2 hours, and all the while I'm like hoping that they don't realize that I don't belong there, that I'm not the person, not Black Israelite, whatever. Um, so finally, like I said, after about an hour or two, the meeting ended, and I waited until every last one left. I was like the last person there, and I was like, you know what? I will never do that again. I couldn't believe that I got myself into that and then couldn't really get myself out of it. So hopefully you guys were entertained by that little my little speech, and I'll see you guys later. All right, bye bye.